But when you spend so much money that you look great, but you're broke on the inside, then how does that help you financially? How does that help you in the long term? Have you ever wondered what sacrifices people make in order to reach their financial goals? Have you wondered what it takes to reach financial freedom? Have you ever wondered what it takes to reach the breakthrough that you need in order to feel like you've succeeded in life? Well, these are questions that a lot of us do ask ourselves. And in this particular video, I will be addressing that, especially if your plan is to reach the financial goals that you've set, maybe for the year, maybe it's for the month, or maybe it is a long life dream of yours to save up a certain amount of money in order to reach the next phase of your life financially. Now, if you're new, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thanks for clicking on this one. I'm glad that you clicked on this, and of course, stick around till the end as well. Now, one of the first things I will say is that when it comes to finances, we all live in different worlds and our realities are completely unique, which means that whatever you choose to do, the goal is that you walk away from this video and you're able to pick the points that I've shared in this video and implement them in your own situation. I wish I could relate with you and talk to you about the actions that you could take, but at the end of the day, this is just a YouTube video and it is up to you to implement and apply the lessons from this video. One of the ways in which we can reduce the amount of money we spend is to reduce the cost of the big ticket items. And when I say big ticket items, I'm referring to things that cost a lot to have or to maintain. Those are things that can be influential in your ability to save and invest fast. So the first one will be your housing or your accommodation. You see, a lot of people find themselves in situations where you can't often control where you live. A lot of times we live in places that are close to our jobs or close to our school or close to our family members. And that would often dictate what we pay in rent or what we pay for housing. So the first question you need to ask yourself is this: what are the sacrifices you can make or implement in reducing the cost of living? Because if you can start with this big aspect, it controls how much you pay for accommodation or rent or living or mortgage, whatever that looks like for you, whatever situation you're in. It controls how much you spend on food, because where you live determines the food you eat, right? Because if it's like an expensive area where the food items are expensive, grocery items are expensive, you are likely to find yourself spending a lot in relation to where you live. That also determines, for example, the taxes you pay, whether it's sales tax, property taxes, if you own, and if you rent, that property taxes is generally passed on to you, which means your rent is higher. So these are generally built into what affects the cost of living in that area. You also have to think about places that are maybe prone to certain major disasters. So those can influence what you pay for maybe insurance. If you live in a place that has high crimes, for example, you may end up paying more on car insurance because, hey, the insurance needs to get their money back somehow. So all these factors plays into what happens to the cost of living and how that is impacted based on these factors I've just mentioned. So if you are looking for ways to save, if you're looking for ways to be able to invest, always look into the thing that you spend money on the most first and find ways to minimize your cost of living. And like I said, this includes all these other items that I've just mentioned: your food, accommodation, insurance, property taxes, sales taxes, things like that. So that's one aspect. The second thing, all right, in helping your ability to save, if you can master these lessons in this video, is to consider what you spend on your car. Transportation. A lot of times, especially in this part of the world, in the United States, everybody needs a car, especially if you live in certain regions. Now, if you live in, let's say, New York, where there's a lot of, subway system that gets you around, or a train system that gets you around, maybe you might save by getting rid of your car, okay? But in major cities, you generally do need a car to get around. And even out in suburbs as well, you generally would need a car. So what this puts on you as an individual who is trying to save and invest and see their money grow is that you need to make sacrifices on the type of car you choose to buy. A lot of us, including those that are just starting out, that are trying to save, fall into the temptation of, oh, I want to buy a good car that would last a while, which is a fantastic objective. But then you end up buying something expensive that is not within your budget. And that is something that you want to avoid. Before you buy a car, and I've actually made videos on, things to consider when you want to buy a car. But for the purpose of this video, it is important that you think about where that money will come from. So when I'm trying to buy something that I know that, hey, I want to make sure that I have the money saved up and it's not going to impact my emergencies or impact any other major life decisions I need to make in regards to the money that I've saved up. So that means I've specifically saved for the purpose of buying the car. One of the things that a lot of people spend money on is, of course, cars. And when you buy a car on debt, you're sinking a lot of money into it. The bank is making a lot of money on the interest, and you are not getting any more value from that car. So my advice to you is, before you buy a car, make sure you have the money saved up. However, if you're going to use notes, or maybe you're going to get a car note on it, make sure it's a car that is used, and that way you're not incurring so much debt on a car that is losing value. Remember, any car that you buy, especially brand new, loses its value immediately you drive off the lot, because now it becomes a used car, and the first drive you take in that car, you literally lose almost 10% of that car from that time onward. And that means as each month goes by or each year goes by, the value keeps dropping drastically. So my advice, buy a used car, a reliable car that is often cheap to maintain. Very important, because once you buy that car, now it becomes something that you have to spend money on. Whether it's maintaining it, fueling it, insuring it, all of those factors needs to be accounted for. So please keep that in mind. My next important point that can help you save a lot of money if you implement it just right is how much you spend on yourself. Now, it's good that we take care of ourselves, take care of your well-being, your looks, and dress well and the likes. But here's the thing, let's be realistic with ourselves. Oftentimes, we can find ourselves spending so much money on things that are not really useful. You buy designer clothes, designer shoes, belts, especially for male, and for women, maybe it's on makeup and all these other accessories. Now, like I said, it's good to look great, but when you spend so much money that you look great, but you're broke on the inside, then how does that help you financially? How does that help you in the long term? That is something that you want to avoid. So the best advice here is, how much clothes do you need, or how many clothes do you need? And how much do you want to spend getting those clothes? If you like quality clothes, yes, spend money on it, but don't buy excessive number of it, because then the money that could be working for you is what you're spending on clothes that will lose value, and over time you have to get rid of them anyway. Whereas if you can find that money and put it into an investment, that investment can stay with you forever and even pay you money over time. So it is best that you manage what you spend on clothes, shoes, and the likes, accessories in that bracket anyway, and make sure that you control that. Now, how do you do that? The best advice is, have a budget on what you want to spend on clothes. Maybe it's yearly, maybe it's monthly, and stick to it. If you've exhausted that budget for the month, no more buying of shoes, no more buying of clothes. Let's stick to the plan, because we have a goal to reach. And if we can stick to it and make those sacrifices, we are likely to get the results that we deserve. My next point is what we spend on gadgets. You see, phones, laptops, and all these other accessories that we tend to acquire can be great. They can make our life a lot easier, they can make things faster, they can make us look great. But one thing I would say is that be very mindful of it. You see, the technology world that we live in is ever changing. That means tomorrow there's always a new phone, a new TV, a new gadget that is released on the market. By 6 months from now, you see that gadget that was released tomorrow, it becomes obsolete because now there's a new updated version of it. And this goes on and on and on. And if you find yourself trapped in that race trying to get the most technological advanced item, maybe it's a phone, maybe it's a TV, maybe it's a laptop, you will continue to incur so much debt that you will not see breakthrough in your finances. That $200 here, that $500 here, that $100 here that you spend on things that are not important because you're upgrading a system, upgrading a TV, upgrading a phone, it goes a long way. Because by the time you spend that $1,000 every year, for example, on a new phone for the next 5 years, that's $5,000 gone. And that's money that you could have invested in the market and let it grow maybe 9%, all right, on average. And over $5,000 would have seen, tremendous gains within that same period. So you have to be very mindful of where your money is going in order to see growth. We, as human beings, are never satisfied. And if we can work on our desires and the things we want, we are likely to do well in life. And that means that you sometimes have to maintain some form of satisfaction in what you currently hold. It may not be the fastest, it may not be the greatest, it may not be the largest, but being able to be satisfied and realize that, hey, this is for my future, this is for my life, this is for my family, this is for, the things that are important to me. That's why I'm making the sacrifices. You realize that those other things are not important. It is crucial that we prioritize our life major goals. It is important that we prioritize our life goals so that we don't put ourselves in bad spots because we've spent all this money on things that are not making us wealthier. So take the lessons from this video and you can do two things with them. You can literally click off and say, you know what, I'm good. I'm going to continue living my life the way I've chosen and I won't do anything to change the way I'm living. Or you can implement the lessons that I've just shared with you and see a drastic turn in your finances within a very short period of time. Remember, we need sacrifices in order to get results. If there are no sacrifices, there are no results. If there are no commitments, we don't get results. We don't get outcomes. We don't get the necessary life that we deserve. So if you found value in this one, check out my next video. You will benefit from it. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel.